the Supervisors Workshop meeting for May the 15th, 2026. For all those who are able, please stand and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, so because this is a workshop meeting, we'll keep the public comment to the end, unlike our normal meetings. The first item up we have is administrative business. Motion to approve the minutes from our last workshop meeting, which was April the 13th, 2026. Those meeting minutes were just circulated.
I'll make that motion, but I'm not sure Mr. Marcotte had a chance to review the minutes.
I did. I looked through them briefly.
Okay.
I'll sign them.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Discussion items. Consolidation of bank accounts and movement of long-term holdings to investment accounts or T-bills. Potential resolution pending. So right now, and Bonnie, I'm going to flip it to you. We have numerous accounts. When I say numerous, when I go through Next Tier, when I go through Pliget, there's at least 16. If you add West Banco on there, there's even more. Now, they may be justified, we have to do it for various reasons, or maybe we can consolidate some. Do you want to?
So I've asked our third-party bookkeeper if she has any knowledge on what the source of these various funds were, what the reason behind them, and she doesn't have much information. Without going back and reading minutes from who knows how many years.
Many.
I think the best we may be able to do is consult the solicitor and ask her to see if she sees any reason why they can't be consolidated. But you do have a balance sheet that lists them all if you want to take a look, but it's a significant amount of money to a significant number of accounts.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Craig, did you say 16?
Well, actually 17 or more.
I have 16 plus West Banco is even more. Yeah, there's a lot. And again, there might be a reason we have to have these, right? It's like having a 401k or 509 for your kid. I mean, I don't know, but I'm just laying out examples, but we have a lot of accounts. The good news is we have money in all of them.
Yeah.
So I agree with the solicitor, but what about bringing in, and we did this about 2 or 3 years ago, we brought in Pliget, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Pliget accounts from what I see. Can we have Tamara come in? I think it was that she did that 2 or 3 years ago. The benefit of Pliget is we get a higher return.
Yes.
So I would suggest we bring her in and get the solicitor's opinion.
I think that's absolutely an option. And the biggest item that's confusing to me is just simply they're all labeled in a very similar fashion.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reserves, but what are they reserves for?
Right. Mr. Chairman, can I ask a question?
You certainly may.
I'll keep bringing this up, and I hate to be, whatever kind of negative light, but we are the executive part of this township's administration. I believe we can make the decision to consolidate these accounts and then ask the supervisor or the solicitor if that's acceptable. Excuse me, but is there any reason why we can't say instead of 5 general funds, let's have 1 general fund? And same with the Pliget funds and same with the park funds. I think we can narrow it down to 5 or 6 funds tonight or at the next supervisors meeting, make a resolution to do, because the solicitor's not going to know anything more than, probably less than Bonnie knows about these accounts. So there's going to just be the legal aspect, not the decision on how we do it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Can I comment as well?
Sure.
I 100% agree that moving in a simpler direction is important. Bringing in Pliget to see how we can get the most money But again, you know, if I move money out of a 401k and I'm 52 years old and that money is assigned to a 401k, there's implications, there's penalties, there's taxes that we don't know about. We don't know why we have that many accounts, and I can't imagine anybody in their right mind would have created that many accounts without some reason. So I'm not necessarily in favor of just doing it and then paying for the implications. I would make sure there aren't
Right,
any.
that's not what I was saying. I was saying we can make the decision to say, listen, we're gonna consolidate like this. And then approach the solicitor and say, is this acceptable?
Well, I mean, we don't have to do this tonight. There's no urgency. Let's ask the solicitor her opinion. I'd also like Bonnie to reach out to, maybe Chris Rare at Jackson Township and see if he has any insight as to why we may need so many accounts. And then let's just take it up at the next meeting with the additional information, make sure we're making the right choice for the township residents. There's no reason to be this.
So Bonnie, if I'm correct, about 80% of our funds are in Pliget,
Yeah, I would imagine.
right? And that's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, only 6. Only 6.
Well, your highway aid, those are Pliget. Again, you have multiple general funds or reserves in Pliget as well.
Right.
But again, there's, other than them being a different class of funds, like prime versus class, I can't give you any idea of why there are multiple, other than I believe you need to open a class before you can open a prime. So,
And it could be as simple as, you know, maybe Pliget wanted to diversify our funds, but I don't know the answer.
That's why I said we should bring them in.
Yeah, for sure.
and then I guess the question would also be, is there anything at next year that you would like to move to Pliget, for example, maybe the park fund?
Yeah, I agree 100%.
So that's something where, you know, you wanna sit down and you wanna say, this with this account, this with that account. I mean, and again, as long as the escrow accounts are necessary for specific reasons, that's a given. So we can't eliminate all of those, but, for example, I don't know why we have 2 highway aid funds.
Agree.
I have no idea. I'd love to have truly one account, like, if we could figure out how to do it.
I don't think that's the right answer. I would agree with that. I don't think Chris Rick's gonna give us any information either. I mean, he's the manager of another township, but I understand you want to be,
He plays by the same rules. It's like a parent with kids. They all are sending them to college and they have so many investment choices.
I understand.
He plays in that field.
but again, we're the executives of this township. I'm not gonna take investment advice from somebody else.
That's why I said bring in Pliget.
For sure. Okay.
And then I guess, what is our option? Can we buy, we're legally allowed to purchase treasury bills. I mean, is there any reason we just don't throw some of this money in T-bills and that way we're covered? Instead of sitting in a
I
bank
don't know.
account? I mean, PA law allows us to invest in T-bills only.
Will you get better returns?
Well, I guess that's what we'd have to say. We're gonna get better returns than where it's sitting right now and has been sitting for the last year.
I don't know that that's true versus Pliget.
What's true versus Pliget?
T-bills versus Pliget.
No, I'm just saying, we're allowed to, as township supervisors, we're allowed to only purchase T-bills as far as I know, or use an investment account. I think that's all they're allowed to buy is T-bills, if I'm not mistaken. So,
I don't know if it is.
That's why we gotta bring them in.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Good mix.
Do you want them to appear?
I do. And they came at a right, we could do either one. I'd bring them to the workshop meeting. That'll be the next meeting they can come to.
Yeah, because we're gonna be tight on the next board of supervisors meeting.
Well, she may not be available.
Fair enough, but I think we
Give her a
set up
month.
voting machines.
And I think it was tomorrow, but she gave a great presentation on why we should put it here versus next tier versus West Banco. And
What about
maybe-
the non-Pliget funds though? Like I mean, is there any reason we can't?
The next year?
Well, we got next year, we have highway funds, we have general funds,
The highway aid is in Pliget.
one of them is, right? Not both of them?
Um,
Oh, they
they're
do?
both in
Okay, I don't have it in
Pliget.
front
They're
of me.
both
Okay.
in Pliget.
Okay. But the non-Pliget accounts, like are all the general funds There's
The
like five of
general,
those.
general fund
I think
is
that,
at next year.
yeah,
Okay, so
I
it's
think the
not-
I
Okay.
think the opportunity for consolidation is with next year.
To be fair, you could put everything into Pliget. Pliget operates as a bank, or
Okay.
it can operate.
Do they have a
as
bill pay
But
also?
I think it's also smart to maintain
No.
those ties to the bank.
I agree. I don't think we want to do, yeah.
Well, I mean, could you get your mic closer, you know, everybody. It's really hard to hear.
You can't still hear me? I'm sorry. You're okay.
You can hear the best.
Okay.
You, one we can hear the most.
So let's bring Pliget in at the next meeting and we'll discuss, okay? So moving on, county hazard mitigation plan information.
So,
Bonnie?
each of you have some handouts that the county has provided. This is a process the county was going through. They did it 5 years ago. They're doing it again. If you, as a municipality, participate, you are allowed to adopt the final product that the county comes up with. If you don't, you have to go through this entire thing on your own, which is a significant amount of time and
Yep.
expense. So it's in everyone's best interest to participate.
So this is primarily for flood mitigation, is that correct?
It's any
Natural disaster.
any disaster.
Oh, okay, I see them
Even
highlighted.
if there's,
Okay.
let's say, a train derails.
Yes.
We've all heard about that story in the last few years.
Correct.
Anything that is hazardous.
Okay.
So there's a significant number of projects and dates and deadlines. And typically your emergency management coordinator would be handling this for the most part. They don't have to. There are plenty of municipalities out there where the township manager or the borough manager is handling it. But you also do need an emergency management coordinator.
So they work hand in hand.
Yeah.
The
Potentially,
EMC
yeah.
would work hand in hand with the county. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and the township.
I'm sorry, that's what I meant, was the township.
Steve,
Chairman, can I elaborate on some of that for you?
Sure.
As an emergency manager, I've been involved in this in the past. I was involved in the 2021 plan for my municipalities, and actually Jackson's back in 24 as well, from 2004. Hazard mitigation is the effort to do something before an event to mitigate the impacts of it. So a hazard mitigation plan is where you identify the potential hazards in your community. You look for ways to mitigate those hazards and identify what they are, so if you have the opportunity to do so, you can put those into place. In Jackson Township, one of those was to purchase all the Porter's Code properties after Ivan in 24 to mitigate future flooding impacts. It could be doing stormwater management projects to prevent flooding. So flooding is certainly a popular piece of it, but it could be anything. It could be you need to provide for a piece of equipment for a rescue company because they would be better able to rescue someone in this situation if they have it. So you could even go to but also we need to repair this road because we've been having ongoing issues. It could be a number of different things. And what the county's asking for in the 3 forms that they provide is give us the resources you have available as a community today. Who are your personnel that are responsible for floodplain management, responsible for code enforcement and so forth? How do you handle that type of thing? What projects also might you be looking to do to mitigate an emergency in your area? And where that helps with the hazard mitigation plan is a few years down the road, if you apply for federal grant funding, they look to see if you're being proactive, and you can't actually get some federal grants unless you have a hazard mitigation plan. So that's why the county offers to do it as a county-wide plan that municipalities can adopt to, because they can include all the different things, they can include the different projects from municipalities, and are also a little more capable of identifying some of the resources in some municipalities. So those 3 forms that they ask you to complete is just information gathering so that they can help develop the plan in the future.
Excuse me,
Hi, I'm sorry. My name is Daniel Cross. I'm a resident.
Thank you.
On Swain Hill, so.
Could I ask a quick question? Dan here probably better off to answer it than supervisors or even one like that. But does this plan include like covering possible explosions, like if the Northwest facility right here, the one over by the landfill, you have that polymer place down there? There's two gas lines right there on major pipelines on 19. You know, if something happens with that stuff, is that all included in those plans?
No, what this plan is for is looking for vulnerabilities in your area and what you can do to mitigate the effects of it. So yes, it's related to what would happen if. But the plan you're talking about would be rather an emergency operations plan, which is a separate plan that a community puts together to define, if this happens, these are the resources we have and this is how we respond to it. So that would be the emergency operations plan.
So that does the township even have something like that?
Well, go ahead, Bonnie.
I asked over a year ago, and I was told, yes, we have it as part of the county, but I know that was a different situation.
Right, so the county has items, but there's also an emergency management agency that the township is supposed to be involved in. Although right now that agency is kind of hanging out in limbo, and requires an emergency management coordinator from the municipalities to set up.
Will there be any additional assessment on the township for this?
No,
Not that
No.
I'm aware of.
No, we just, the county, they've already started this process. Whatever reason, Lancaster hasn't been engaged. Is that true?
Well, we are now.
We are now. And quite frankly, I've really been completely uninformed about it. I can't speak for the other supervisors. So what we asked Bonnie to do tonight was just bring us and the public up to speed with what it is. And I guess the next question is, if we decide to, how do we get involved?
So the township is involved.
we are.
We are.
The next step is they're looking for projects. You have that form, like Dan said, they're looking for you to identify these things in your community that need addressed.
Yes.
They're looking for feedback. They're looking for those professionals, those people who are appointed. So the emergency management coordinator, floodplain administrator, engineers, code enforcement, zoning, all of those areas that are related in some way to public safety.
They'll tie in.
Thank you.
So does that lead to the next one? We need an EMC, Emergency Management Coordinator, right? And now we thought we had this through the COG,
Yes,
correct?
correct.
Who was you?
Sorry.
You came here. Come to find out, there was holes in that process, right?
There are, like I said, the county is requiring a new intermunicipal agreement, for the EMA. And that is something that I get mixed feedback on. Jackson Township has appointed their roadmaster, their emergency management coordinator, and their manager, the deputy. So regardless of what happens with the EMA, the township does need to appoint someone, even if it's only in the short term.
And look, so the people you brought up, they're gonna be hands-on anyway. So we want somebody to have oversight of people that are gonna be out there fighting, no pun intended, fighting the fires, right?
Yeah, you want someone who has the administrative capability,
Right.
not the police who are gonna be out saving someone, or the fire department.
Or the roadmaster.
Or the road, yeah, you want people who can be on the administrative side versus boots on the ground.
So ideally, we would like a candidate with some experience,
Or more than one.
or more than one, that we would put in that role on behalf of, not the COG, not Butler County, but on behalf of Lancaster Township, right?
Exactly.
That
So we'll
being
keep-
said, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a nomination. Is that okay? Is that acceptable?
It's acceptable. I would like to see 2 or 3, but
Well, I can only nominate one at this point. If you guys want to come up with someone else, that's fine too. I recommend Dr. Denny Hamilton. He currently serves on global rescue, and he volunteers as a global emergency coordinator. So he goes at a moment's notice to anywhere in the world for any type of disaster. Very well experienced, long-term resident of the township. And I found out today that he was also the original member of the Zillionople Borough Emergency Management Group. So I would think he would be fairly qualified. I asked him if he would do it. He said after prayerfully think about it, but then called me this morning and said he would. So he just wants a blue light for his car. I don't know if he was joking about that or not, but that's what he said.
It's probably true.
Probably would be something you'd want.
Look,
but
I
he may have been joking.
I have
I'm not sure.
a lot of respect for him. I think he's a viable candidate. And I don't think we're gonna get a lot of people that have the experience or who even want to do it, so. I'm with that.
Do you want to make a motion then?
I would say we do it at the next meeting.
Yeah, you most likely want to adopt it by resolution.
Yeah.
And you want him to, be there.
Okay, fair enough.
So we put that on for next meeting. I thought he
Oh,
was,
I thought you were gonna say-
I thought you were nominating, I thought you were gonna say, I'm your man. But I think Dennis would be great, especially with his history. I do.
Yeah.
And I think I've run into him over the years, back when I was involved in Jackson, there was that
Okay.
Zillionople Harmony group.
Right.
And, we formed the Conquest Valley Regional EMA for Conquest Borough Township and Evans City. Not the same way that this one was formed, because we were having trouble getting people in those municipalities to step up and do that. So we have the elected officials involved. As I spoke at the meeting a couple months ago about how we did it, the way we do it, we could certainly take on this township as well, but it would be through that intergovernmental agreement. So that would be an option, as I talked about before. But if Mr. Hamilton is able to take that on,
I'm sure he would be glad to work with you and have Bonnie as a deputy and roadmaster and everybody else involved. I'm sure he's doing it out of the kindness of his heart plus his experience. He doesn't need anything else to do.
Yeah.
But I think he'd be a good candidate for oversight. But if you have other work or somebody could fill in some of it.
well, as Bonnie said, you want to have someone who has the administrative abilities and
Sure.
so forth to do it.
He has
It's
that.
not going to be out in the field during the emergency because you have to be back at the EOC managing it.
Right.
And there's training through PSAT for this?
No, it's a lot of it is online. I had started the training and I got through the first part of it very quickly. And then the more in-depth is through, I believe, FEMA, maybe?
Okay, so it's not,
Training classes are offered in part through FEMA, but the program that requires it is PA Title 35. So within the first year of being appointed coordinator by the governor, you need to obtain FEMA associate certification, and it's a number of classes you have to take. Then you serve with that for a year, and within 3 years, you need to attain professional certification, which is about 70 some hours of training. And then on a 5-year basis, you have to take continuing education training to maintain that professional certification. So I obtained my professional municipal certification a few years ago, and I have to take continuing training for that. So
So Dan, you're saying if we nominate and vote on him, he still has to be appointed by the governor?
yes, you would recommend to the governor appointment of emergency management coordinator. That would then go to the county to be forwarded to the state.
Okay, just want to make sure I knew the process.
Yeah.
So, for
You know the
example,
process.
When you nominated me at the beginning of the year, the county would not forward it on to the state until that intermunicipal agreement had been reached for all municipalities in
Okay.
MMA.
Okay.
If you do it independent, you don't have to wait for that.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it would likely go straight to, and then you could decide down the road.
If you want to merge
Maybe
it.
annex it.
Okay, yeah, thanks for explaining that.
Yeah, actually, the way the intergovernmental agreements can work is you designate an agency then that agency elects their EMC. That's how we do it, whereas the agency, which is created by an intergovernmental agreement, appoints an EMC because the municipalities have already delegated that through the intergovernmental agreement. So it depends on how the agreement was written. If they were done individually, that may have been why that happened.
Would there be any issue with our own EMC working with your group at all?
No, we work with our neighbors all the time.
Okay.
If you appoint your own direct EMC just
Yes.
under the township, then that intergovernmental agreement would have to be rescinded or go away, because then they don't have that responsibility anymore. Your EMC has that sole responsibility.
Okay.
Is there any benefit to working on a hybrid, like the problem?
So the EMA itself actually can become a funding source. It was a point of discussion that the EMA could actually participate and do a lot of the work related to the hazard mitigation plan. In particular, that it could do a more specialized one for this area, for the members of the EMA. And again, the EMA is based on the fire department's coverage area.
Yes.
Those 4 municipalities. So whether that moves forward, that is a question for the COG and for the other municipalities. However, because it could also be an additional funding source, it seems reasonable to try to participate to eliminate some of those expenses.
So do we need an emergency management coordinator or not?
Yes.
Yes,
right
we
now
do.
it's-
Yes,
I just want to
we do.
clarify that because
Yeah.
it would sound like it maybe did.
Everyone has to.
now.
We need
because
one now.
the EMA situation
So we can appoint one at the next board of supervisors.
Correct, and we should.
Okay. And then we get that sent off to the governor.
We need to take care of
Okay.
Lancaster first.
I agree.
We
I
thought we had it covered through the COG and,
Right.
right?
I appreciate the desire too, because I'd rather take care of the township first.
And what we did in the past, and the municipalities that I'm involved with, like, for instance, I was Jackson's coordinator at one point, I was conquesting boroughs, and I had deputies and so forth. So when we created the intergovernmental agreement, those folks from those different municipalities became deputies, and then they represented their area.
Okay.
So,
Do we want to designate some deputies? Should we designate Bonnie as a deputy? Would that be a fair?
Maybe we can follow up with Dennis after he's in place and see if he has.
yeah, I would say.
I'm sure he's going to ask that question. So
I would ask
for it.
that
Yeah, I don't have to-
question
I don't think I need
too.
to follow up.
I would start thinking about potential deputies.
Yes, so I'm asking, that's why I'm asking now, because I will be talking to Denny to let him know. So, I mean, is that something you would consider, Bonnie?
Sure.
Okay. And Dan, would he be able to contact you? Would you mind if I gave him your contact
He
information?
could, I'd be happy to share with him this region, since I've been doing it a long
I
time.
appreciate that. I'm just trying to give him as much info as possible.
I mean, he could take it on directly, or he could become a deputy to an intergovernmental agreement organization, however you guys
Possibly in the future.
feel. Yeah, but you do need to get someone.
Yeah, let's stick with Lancaster Township.
Right, you need to get someone.
You
named
might want,
first
yeah, so
to get
I think
this.
we've agreed that we need one for Lancaster Township.
We do.
And I'm sure if Denny sees the value for the township to be a deputy, he would gladly hand that over, so.
Okay. All right, moving on through the agenda. Need for a floodplain administrator. So in the past, our zoning officer was also the floodplain administrator. She left the end of January. We replaced her with a, I'm not gonna say a temp agency, a consultant, third party. But we have really not, when I say that, that's for zoning, but we have really not addressed the floodplain. We talked about using the township engineer. I have mixed feelings about that. Would Owen be willing to?
I believe Owen has already agreed to that.
I mean, it's an hour or two a year.
Right, now, Owen has already.
We don't
agreed to it.
have a lot of
Yeah.
floodplain issues,
Thankfully.
thankfully.
I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Owen to, we'll do it in the meeting, but I
We'll
want
do
to
it the next
make a
meeting.
motion at the next meeting, we appoint Owen, but we need a second to that, so we can have it on the agenda.
I'll second.
Owen
Owen
Pella.
Pella.
P-E-L-L-A.
P-E-L-L, like the
Consultant.
window.
Yes.
And originally, we went down that road.
I thought that's what we had decided, yeah.
And he would charge the same hourly rate that he does for zoning.
I assume that might be.
No, that's what he
something-
told
that
us,
might
right?
be-
Yes, that is correct. Yep, same
Do we
thing.
need to add it to his agreement or supplement his agreement?
We can.
Yes, we need to
Yes,
revise
we'd have
it,
to do that.
and we should do that, now, and then vote on it at the next meeting.
Okay. Yes, sir.
And, what's Owen's role in the township today?
He's a
We just said, he's either consulting for our zoning.
Zoning officer, yes.
And that's been my experience, is most of the time you get the zoning officers involved in that process. The township's ordinance, appoints the township manager as the floodplain manager. In their absence, the secretary, unless it is then delegated to someone else. So you certainly can delegate it to someone. Most municipalities I work with, it's usually the manager or secretary that's named in the ordinance, but they have the ability to delegate that. Most of them have delegated that to their zoning officer or construction person, because essentially the floodplain management process is issuing permits to folks that are building in the floodplain and making sure they're complying with the regulations and so forth. So anyone involved in either zoning or construction permitting is usually the best to be involved in that.
Thanks.
All right, moving on, discuss protocols for engaging the township solicitor. So this is on here for various reasons. We want to control costs. We want to use our solicitor wisely, right? I have personally seen in the past where we've had residents contacting our solicitor. Not the board of supervisors. We have committees contacting the solicitor. And I think it should be funneled through us and Bonnie.
I agree. I think the reason we have the commissions reporting to the board of supervisors and the boards is for just this type of thing. And Bonnie also reports to us. I think a simple email saying, hey, I would like to engage the solicitor for this reason. I'm a big fan of Gibbs rule number 13, never ever involve an attorney. But in this case, we have to under certain cases. So yeah, I think we should at least have input.
Yeah, it's an approval, yes or no.
That's it,
It's a checks and balances. And I'm not joking, about 4 years ago, we had a resident who was calling our solicitor like twice a week, 3 times, and we were getting billed for it. I'm like,
Well, I think I'm hoping our new solicitor knows better than to do
she
that.
does, but I'm talking about 4 years ago.
Yeah,
And
but no,
it's a system of checks and balances.
Even now, though, I think our planning commission is having the solicitor do things that maybe we would have said no, or maybe advised otherwise, or.
And it keeps us in the loop on what
Exactly.
questions they have, you know. It's okay to raise your hand for help, but we need to know what those questions are.
And I'd really rather see that ahead of time rather than when I get the bill. You know,
Agree-
when I see the
I agree.
solicitor's bill, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
So.
I agree. The only thing I'd ask is that any requests from any committee or other go through the entire board of supervisors.
Oh, I
No,
agree. I think that's what we're saying.
agree.
I think that's what we're saying, Rich. And I think we can include Bonnie as well.
The four of us.
Unless it's
Said that.
Bonnie requesting to us, then we don't have to include her because she sent it to us. But otherwise, yeah, I just think communication, like we talked about at the last workshop, is important. But I don't like seeing communication. The communication is when I see the bill.
Surprises stop being fun after my 7th birthday,
There you go.
right? I mean, you don't want to be surprised.
So let me just ask a question to clarify. I agree with where we are so far, but through their regular course of business, the township engineer, zoning officer, and body do need to regularly and freely interact with the supervisor or the solicitor. Does this limitation fall on them as well?
I would say it does. I would say, I don't know that freely. I mean, how freely do you mean? Does the engineer, because remember, engineer's a third party.
If
He's
you-
not an employee of the township.
If you go through the solicitor's bills, she's engaging both the engineer, the zoning officer, and the township manager often, and it's to slow down that process. I think would be very difficult to get it okay from 3 supervisors.
I don't think you need 3. I think 2 would do the trick, but.
But it's still quite a challenge when you have a fluid issue that's going on that they need to. If you go through the attorneys or she is primarily engaged with those three people. So I honestly wouldn't have an issue if those three could engage with the solicitor. However, that being said, I have an itemized bill from the solicitor, which I go through every month. And I do reach out to township employees as well as the solicitor to inquire about invoices. And I'm pretty happy with that process because I like to give them the room to do their job, quite frankly, because they have questions that need to be answered. If they have to wait for two supervisors to get back to them, I don't think they can necessarily respond to them fully. You can.
I can respond every day. I mean, what's your thought, Bonnie? We don't want to be invasive, but we want to have oversight and control.
And can I just add something too, because he said about being fluid, I would not expect everything. If you said we need to talk to the solicitor on this subject, and then we say, two of us say, okay, I would expect that to be able to go back and forth without involving us at some point, unless it becomes ridiculous.
You're gonna find that it happens multiple times a day.
Well, I don't know about that, I don't, go ahead.
In my limited experience here, it does appear as though, you know, the interaction with the engineer might be on something for development.
Right.
Where you need to have the legal opinion. Regarding the zoning, that I'm a little fuzzier on the specific reason, but, you know, maybe there is something that the new zoning officer just isn't sure about. He wants to verify it before he.
Right.
No, that would be nice to know prior to.
That's all I think we're asking.
All
That's
we're
all we're asking.
But yeah.
And is that an issue? Do you think that would be an issue? I mean, like even Owen right now he sent an email and asked, can I reach out to the solicitor? And I said, I will have to talk to the board of supervisors. That's all. It was, you know, I guess I'm not involved in the day-to-day, but.
I will say that for the most part, until you prove me wrong, I give you the benefit of the doubt. And in particular, in these instances, I'd like to give the engineer, the zoning officer, even the solicitor, the benefit of the doubt that they're not going to arbitrarily waste time, particularly billable hours.
Yes.
Now, obviously, if we see a problem, then it needs to be addressed.
Right. And that's, I think, how this all came up. We do have a problem with excessive attorney fees. I mean, a real problem. We have anyhow. It's gotten a little bit better, but.
Yeah, and I don't know that it's egregious.
No, I'm not saying it's egregious.
No, it's just our attorney fees are very high.
And I
Much
just think
higher than budget.
it appears to me, as a new supervisor, that there's a lot of things that could be addressed without reaching out to the solicitor. Or a lot of noise that probably doesn't need to occur.
So I will say, from my perspective, just coming into things recently, not knowing a lot of the history, but hearing a lot of the stories, it seems like the culture here is a bit litigious.
It is.
So I think I would err on the side of caution for the most part. I would rather the township didn't get sued.
I don't want to get sued either.
Yeah. No, we do see how expensive lawsuits turn out over the years. Quite so. But whatever you two decide, I'm fine. But my opinion is the engineer, the manager, and the zoning officer are professionals and we should be tracking them and holding them accountable, but they do need to be able to work.
Greg, you have a question out there? If you're interested in taking it.
I am. Mr. Beach.
Yeah, what you're talking about with the solicitor, the expense of the solicitor, and having multiple people contacting the solicitor directly on what they consider to be proper permission, I think it would be wiser for the township to establish a control point, like the township manager, and that the engineer, because it's a short phone call. All they have to do, we're not talking about days and weeks. A short phone call, short contact with the township manager saying, gee, we think we should contact the solicitor about this specific item. And the township manager, who's overseeing everything, can say, yeah, that's a good idea, it's solid, we need to go forward, she's the control point. But if she has any questions, then she can contact two supervisors, and she's still the control point, because she's controlling the operation. And by having multiple people go, and then we get the bill afterwards and say, gee, we shouldn't have done that, or why did we do that? And we're gonna go to the township manager first, because that's the person who's responsible. And they're gonna say, I didn't know, they went directly to them and told me after the fact. So I think that if we just establish a control point, let them contact, but after they contacted and gotten approval from a control point. And that's all I'm saying.
I think that's what we're saying.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that idea. I just think there needs to be a control point, and we need to be involved.
You tell me how you wanna do it, and that's what we'll do.
Okay, well, I think the three of us have to decide, but I would, if I had to make a motion, would be what Mr. Beach said. So you're a control point, and
Yep.
we come back to you if we don't like the bill. I'm saying that.
Estimated time, estimated.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, if somebody calls you, you're like, I don't know, maybe I should ask the supervisors first. Send us an email. I'm thinking response times from us on a daily basis are generally within an hour or less.
And we're not
Sometimes 5 minutes.
Delaying something a month.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's very little that we're doing here in the township that is moment or hourly dependent on an answer.
Are you okay with that, Bonnie? Would that be okay for you?
I don't have any objection to it, we'll put it that way.
Okay.
And
well,
like I
We
said,
do
that's what
spend,
the
we do
warrant
spend a
looks
lot
like.
on, we do spend a lot on solicitors.
Yeah, just for
And
reference, our
again-
bills are about half of what they were prior to you being here, so.
Yeah, they are, we've cut them
So
down.
we have come down, but I still think they can
Yeah.
come down more. but-
They can. And to Rich's point,
Ideally, I'd like the township to be in a position where we didn't need legal advice so often.
I agree.
That would be great.
And I wanna believe we're heading that way.
agree.
And if you have a control point, then you can control whether the town needs that or not.
Fair enough. No, I'm in favor for that, as long as Bonnie's okay and at least one other supervisor's okay.
I'm good with that.
There we go.
We know that's a cost. It's a sore subject every year in the budget.
Yep.
So, similar protocols for engaging township zoning officer. Now, I think this one is less of an expense.
It is, but I added this for a reason. Can I speak to that,
Sure.
Mr. Chairman? So, Mr. Pellet called me and wanted to know how much he should be involved. He is kind of in an area, should I be coming to the workshops? Should I be coming to the supervisor meetings? Should I be coming to the planning commission workshops? Should I be coming? So I think he genuinely cares about the township and his responsibility here, but doesn't know, he doesn't want to make that decision and bill us without authorization, I guess. So that's kind of why I added this, because I personally think we should have him involved, at least in certain occasions. And if the workshop's gonna discuss something with the zoning ordinances or any of our zoning ordinances, then we might wanna consider involving him, or at least providing the information and then saying, hey, maybe you should be at this meeting. But again, I would wanna see that coordinated through Bonnie or through the Board of Supervisors. And so they could say, hey, you know what, we're gonna be discussing something, it would be nice to have the zoning officer here. Now, once Bonnie, if it were to go through Bonnie and she were to approve it, obviously there's an additional expense. He's not very expensive though, so.
Go ahead, Bobby.
Sorry.
No?
I will say the planning commission, I think more than once did ask if the zoning officer would attend. And that was something where just getting was he even available, you know? And so it doesn't sound like he will be, but you're right, when I spoke to him last, he was looking just for the okay.
Yeah, that's right. So I just wanted to make this official. I mean, obviously we can make these all resolutions or motions in the next meeting, but just want to make sure we talk about it now so that we don't talk about it excessively.
So
next Monday.
historically, the zoning officer attended the planning commission.
Yes.
Correct, that is correct.
Historically, the zoning officer was at our board of supervisors. I don't know that he needs to be here unless we invite him. It's just another day.
I agree.
But I think those two, he should be at, he or she.
Yeah. I think as needed maybe might be better because there's sometimes in those workshops that there's really nothing.
Well, yeah, like the public works, the planning commission workshops, probably not.
Well, no, sometimes, I think that's where he would probably be used more often is during workshops. But there may be times that he's also needed at the planning committee regular meetings, like a plan approval if it has a zoning issue.
Yep.
But a lot of time, and in all fairness, our zoning officer was also on the planning commission, so that made it a lot easier for her to be at the same place. But no, I just think I'm asking, should he be available when needed by whoever needs him? And I think we just need to be able to my opinion would be to let Bonnie make that decision.
Invite.
Yeah, just invite when needed.
What's the agenda? Should you attend, yes or no?
And is he able? He may not be able to attend, but if we let him know in advance,
I mean, that's fine, I don't.
you okay with
Again,
that?
if that's the way you'd like to do it, that's what I will do.
Do either of you two have an objection to that?
I do not.
Okay, I will let Mr.
I
Pell
don't
know
like that he's not attending.
Well, we can have him attend. I don't have a problem with that.
Again, it's based on the agenda and does he need to?
I agree. But
Well, maybe, so would it be appropriate then to effectively invite him to attend with the understanding that if there's nothing on the agenda
Yes.
for zoning,
Yes.
he doesn't
need
have to attend.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
But
even
for the
better.
planning commission, maybe that actually helps him get up to speed even faster.
I agree.
I would think he wants to being that they're working on zoning, I think he would want to be at the workshops now.
Yes.
I don't know necessarily at the planning commission regular meetings, but maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you though, especially since they're working on zoning, he should be there.
Well, and maybe for one or two,
Sure.
like the next one or two, so that he
Gets
gets
an
an idea
idea.
how it
Yep.
operates.
And I don't have a problem with him coming to every meeting, I just don't know that it's necessary. And we need to spend the funds for him to sit here and twiddle his thumbs.
He can come to every meeting for free.
Well, I doubt he's gonna do that. Cindy, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, Cindy Neese has a question.
So as a community member, if there is a zoning question, who should someone in my capacity make it to?
Bonnie, you want to answer that?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
As a community member, if there was a question about a zoning violation or something of the matter, who should that person contact? You?
If it's zoning related, you can send it to me, but I will likely pass it off to the zoning officer or the code enforcement officer, depending on what the topic is.
Okay.
And the zoning officer's information should be on our website, I know it was, but if you needed to reach
And
out.
who's our code enforcement officer?
A
Roadmaster, that's
Oh.
correct.
I don't know if that's on the website, is it? Do we have him listed as a code enforcement officer?
I don't
I'll be sure.
Good questions.
Okay.
So that'll be on the agenda also for the next meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Clarify supervisor's position on single ingress egress ordinance. So this has been a hot topic for the last 2 or 3 months with a lot of uncertainty in my mind.
Can I, for just a moment?
Yes.
So it would be appropriate for the board of supervisors to direct the planning commission, if that is your intention, on this and the data center ordinance, to pull it out. Otherwise, it does not appear as though they were asked by the board officially to do that.
Understood. Understood. So my question has been to the planning commission, how close are we to having the saldo? And I get, we're close, 3 months, 6 months, and I don't know the answer.
It is
Can I-
a different answer because I think there's one answer for the saldo, but then an additional answer for the PRD and an additional answer for all the other zoning related
Okay.
items.
Right, and my understanding is, and I think Dave explained it pretty well last time, was that yes, zoning will close, saldo, but we want them all to fit together. So one part will be done, you're gonna get a different answer on that, whether it's gonna be 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. But the whole kit and caboodle, which they wanna do as one, sounds like it's gonna be over a year. That's just my take on it, but I mean, when he was sitting here, you know, when you tried to nail him down to a date, he was like, it's gonna be a bit. So they wanna do, and I understand, they wanna do it all as once in case there's any conflict. So therefore, and because of what Bonnie just said, in order to direct them to do these as standalone ordinances, they probably should have direction from the Board of Supervisors to do this.
So my issue is that the planning commission was told by Mr. Dobin that the Board of Supervisors, and I've been approached, and there's a lot of discomfort on the planning commission, that the Board of Supervisors asked them to move forward on these two items. I've never had that conversation, so I'm not sure. And I'm going to give you the video as well. So there does need to be some formal direction. Our solicitor has suggested that it's a waste of money to do it independently. Our engineer has suggested that doing it all together makes the most sense.
And neither of those are residents of the township or employees of the township or elected
And some of the
officials
planning
township.
commission members themselves have suggested that.
Ironically, they haven't told that to the chairman of the planning commission.
They are only moving forward because you told them.
Okay, fair enough, whatever, I'm asking now that we make an official decision, either yay or nay. I don't wanna argue about the past.
So what I want, I'm not gonna make a decision. What I would like by the next meeting, a month, I'll give them a month. I would like to, I don't want multiple ordinances. I would like to see it in the saldo, you know. I would like a concrete answer from them. If it's a year, okay, then maybe we do individual for the ingress egress. But if they think they're close, like 30, 60, 90 days out, I would wait.
Okay, and I think he did answer that question last time, that there's no way.
All right, so they need to put that like in writing. to
Okay,
us or
fair
something
enough.
like that.
Okay, no, I agree, okay, that's fair.
But I'd also like to clarify, you know, that one member of the Board of Supervisors should not be telling the planning
Rich,
commission
I
how
think
the
you need to
board
let it go.
themselves want to.
I don't think you should go to the Board of Supervisor, Planning Commission and tell them you're the liaison to the Planning Commission.
We had decided
No, we
that in the
haven't.
meeting.
Greg,
All right,
did we ever
gentlemen,
decide that? Okay.
Gentlemen, we'll let this go.
Okay, thank you.
What I would like from the planning commission by the next meeting, give them a month. Board of Supervisors, Township Manager, here's where we're at on the saldo. And if they're a ways away, we'll look at, you know, the single ingress, egress, and the data center. But if they're saying, hey, we're there, it rolls into one. I want to make decisions based on data and facts, not I think, I feel. So that's where my head's at.
Sounds good. I just wanted to add too that the supervisor did not say it was unreasonable. She said it would be about $2,000 or $3,000. So we have to think about what's better for the township residents versus $2,000 to $3,000. I don't think that's unreasonable.
No, but
Considering
the
what we're
issue
doing.
is that you decided independently
forget about
that
that.
that was an important topic
Okay.
without the Board of Supervisors.
And for me, it's not about the money. It's about doing the right thing based upon data and facts.
I want to do the right thing for the township residents as well. So
Well, that's what I'm saying.
thank you.
Okay. All right, the current balance sheet and projected income expenses for the next 3 to 6 months. Bonnie?
We do have a copy of the balance sheet. As far as projected income and expenses, I'm not sure that I can effectively
okay.
give you that.
Yep.
Only because I'm still trying to work on revising our chart accounts, our budget, to see what historically has been done.
Yep.
I can see where we're at when it comes to taxes. And you're always a little light on earned income but we're doing very well on real estate.
That's our biggest, it's our biggest source of revenue.
So that's your biggest source of revenue right now.
Mhm.
Outside of any future, potential, we don't know if this year there will be any development and any fees collected in that, until we get that information back, like for page placement.
Yes.
So, yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a good answer.
It's like being a weather forecaster. Is it gonna rain? I don't know. 50-50 chance. Just walk us through, are you prepared to walk us through?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Something.
impossible, Bonnie. Obviously you can't predict everything for certain, but we do know our revenues, we know our expenses. I noticed the copy of the balance sheet that I got did not have, at least one of the, unless the new version has it, didn't have our interest payments for, in our liabilities.
Yeah.
So are any other current liabilities missing? I guess we're just trying to get a projection. So I'm looking at the balance sheet here from
Yeah, but
11.
you're saying for the property payment, that.
The interest payment,
Yes.
I mean, it is a current liability, right?
It is, and
Okay.
because we had such trouble getting that information from West Bank,
I understand.
the third party bookkeeper doesn't have it entered right now.
But we have that information, right? How much is our interest payment per month?
Yeah, so it's approximately it's just over $4,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are paying 3.97% interest.
Oh, what happened to I thought there was,
I believe the higher interest rate was the maximum amount that. can be
oh,
charged.
okay, that's interesting.
And not to exceed.
Right.
No, okay, because the one I saw said 12% or something, or
And
you and I.
that might have been, I don't have the agreement here to look at, and that might have been something, once we close on one. Right now, we're only doing interest only payments, it's 3.97.
Oh, that's not bad, okay, okay.
So we do have to look though at what those options are.
Okay, so, but we do know, even though you can't generate
It's
this,
approximately $4,000.
do we have any other current liabilities that aren't on here?
No.
But I believe that's the only.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so I think that would be nice if we just could go over that and see how much do we owe, how much are we bringing in. Obviously, you
So
can't.
you just want me to pull this up.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we were trying to go 3 to 6 months out just to know where we stand as a township. But obviously, I mean, is this going to be?
I mean, if you're not prepared for this tonight.
Yeah, don't worry
we can
about
do
it
it the
if
next
you're not
meeting.
Or not, I feel like it's a much broader discussion with a lot more information than the balance sheet.
Okay. Would that be something for the next workshop you'd be able to prepare?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
And look, we're not trying to hide anything.
Right.
We have quite a bit of money in the bank.
Oh, yeah. The township itself is in a very good financial situation.
Right, I think we're doing the exact opposite by trying to talk about it as opposed to
Agreed.
hiding it.
Agreed.
I don't think anybody's saying we're trying to hide it.
And this is kudos to Bonnie.
Yes.
I think her strengths, I know her strengths is the finances. And look, again, I'm not gonna slam past managers, but they weren't focused on that, and you are. The devil's in the detail, and you're getting in the detail.
She's trying. She's trying hard.
But again, we have I won't say a lot, we have money.
How much money?
3.9 million.
Just under that.
3.8.
Yeah, 3.8.
I was in sales, so I always rounded up 3.9.
Say 3 million, be safe. We got 3 million.
And a little over 2 is in reserve. So that's a very good position to be in.
Yes, I agree. So I'm not saying not to be negative. What is the pending litigation against the township? Do we have any amounts on pending litigation? Or can you guys speak to that?
Don't know the dollar amounts. There's a few open cases.
Roughly, or you have no idea?
It would be hard to identify. Truly.
That is a question that we will ask in an executive session before next Monday's meeting, which I'm announcing we will have an executive session to talk about legal matters. Because I've asked that same question of our solicitor.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be negative.
No.
I'm just I'm new.
It's not huge.
I know there's some legal firm from Philadelphia involved, and I'm like, they usually don't get involved unless there's big money involved.
No, it's probably a question best answered by the solicitor.
Which she'll be prepared to answer next Monday.
So you've asked her that specifically?
have.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll do the balance sheet at the next meeting. Plans for 600 Perry Highway. So I'll report on this. So we had a phase 1 that was completed, I don't know, fourth quarter last year. The phase 2, which was just completed, I think, in April, Bobby? March, April? So phase 1, they go in and do a visual observation. Phase 2, they say, well, you had a gas tank here, a gas tank there, whatever it is, and they do soil and water testing, which they did and they completed. It was delayed. It was supposed to be in February, the phase 2. It was delayed significantly because of the weather, and I think they just completed it within the last couple weeks. And everything, the phase 2 came back fine. Phase 3 would be remediation, which was going to be covered by the county, but there was no finals. So I just wanted to give that back. So that leads to the big question: what are the grand plans for that property? Right?
And that's why I added it, because again, as a new supervisor, I'm trying to figure out the big picture here. Maybe taking it from a business perspective, like if we're paying a little over $4,000 a month,
Yep.
What do we want to do here? We have 3.8 million in the bank. Do we want to pay down some of it? Do we want to pay down all of it? Do we want to keep 3.9% is not so bad. When it was 12%, I was like, okay, we got to pay this off. 3.9, maybe not so bad. We could take that same money and put it in T-bills. But what about, Bonnie and I have sat and discussed this, subdividing the house out and, either renting it, selling it, whatever options are on. I mean, grant, I'm a big fan of holding real estate because we're not making any more of it. But, I would rent the house out. I bet you we could probably get close to $2,000, if not more, a month out of the house. We have Herm's old little place behind it. I'd be surprised if we can't get $1,500 a month out of that. If we fix the roof on the building in the back, we could either use it for township, or we could probably rent that out on a triple net lease, which means it would cover all maintenance, insurance, wiring, lighting, heating, air conditioning, at no expense to the township. I bet you we could get $3,000 to $4,000 a month for that. We're already getting Twisted Ink for it. So anyhow, so you can go a lot of routes here.
So we leased to Twisted Ink now, that little building up front. I think that's $1,000 a month that we bring in, right? So I look at what we lease. The police department, I think we're paying $1,500 a month for that right now, right? I mean, is there something we can do? I don't know what
So if you're thinking about moving them up there, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to fly. From what I understand, the building is no way possible to be approved by the FBI. So I think that was a good idea initially, but after doing some research, that's not actually feasible.
So I'm not opposed to leasing out the properties while we try to offset some of the expenses while we try to come up with what we're going to utilize the property for the community in the long term. And I think we're probably a year away from having plans to be able to do that. Would you agree, Bob? It's a process.
I would say at least a year.
Yeah.
it's a process, not an event.
In a year, most likely, but only if there aren't a lot of other things.
But we want to apply for grants. We want to have a new park plan that could potentially include the municipal center in that space. Now, maybe give us time to.
I'm not in disagreement. I mean, I think we have to do something in the short term at the very least. But I think we want to, get some input from the residents too. I mean, the other option too is, do we want to just keep the back section that's attached to the park, the wooded area, and sell the rest of it? I'm up for anything. Like I said, I'm a big fan of holding property because I'm not making any more of it. But, I can't see us being ready to do anything in a year.
We're a year or two away from development. I would, this is my opinion, I would explore lease options
Okay, I'd say-
We're leasing that building for $1,000, that little building.
Right.
If we can lease the house, I would explore those options first.
What about the house behind us?
Same, I would explore all.
What
of
about
them.
the building back there? I bet, we fix that roof, I mean, that's some cash back there.
I will say though, the road crew is using
Yes.
that to store a lot of things, and there is an advantage in my mind at least to having all of your equipment inside in treated, you know, even if it's only 50,
Right.
55 degrees, it will extend the life of the equipment versus sitting out.
Yeah,
Even if it's undercover, but it's still in freezing.
Regardless, I agree with you. I think we need to fix the roof. Maybe I'm just an infrastructure guy, but I just don't understand how it's been, what, a year now almost? We're going on a year that the roof hasn't been fixed. And that just is gonna keep rotting away the walls.
Yeah, we
inside there.
closed in like October of last year, so.
Okay, I thought it was
You're good,
August.
you're good.
Okay, whatever, yeah, so regardless,
I mean, if you want to engage a roofer to come out and fix it, we can do that.
and I already, the guy had to fix the roof here, offered to do a bid. I think it can't be a bid. I think it has to be an estimate so that we know what category we have to bid it. So if becomes an estimate's $23,000, then we know it's one class of bid. If it's 100,000, then we know.
I think we
But
got.
we need to know where to start by a professional.
Well, I drove by the
Yeah,
other
we
day.
can agree.
Our works crew is over there all the time. I mean, they're chomping at the bit to use that. So I think we go out for bid on the roof. And I think we'll look at lease options or renting options.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I added this item.
Rich,
I
I
think
want
this one
something
is-
new,
How about the idea of partially paying down the loan? Consider that.
Listen, I
Same.
agree with that, with the intent of moving forward. You know, a year lease gives us time, or 18 months, to try to figure out what to do with the property, try to get some grant money, try to draw a bigger plan, maybe utilize, I know the COG has some resources available to us, looking at the park plan. So I'm absolutely okay with that.
I mean, I'll throw in another one. The Historical Society, we spend $350 a month on the building behind Sally Cider Press. I mean, it's not big money, but
Yeah.
it's, well, but that facility is, I'll just be honest, in rough shape.
No, I think it's a great idea. There were some, and I only remember kind of a cursory, there were some limitations to who we could use labor-wise in the loan, I think.
Well, it depends how much it is. So that's why we need to get an estimate. We need to get an estimate of what this is gonna cost, so we know what category of loan. And then, yes, certain ones you have, if you get to a higher dollar one, you do have to use minimum labor expenses. That is correct. I just don't know what that is. I'd have to look at it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know there were some circumstances that we had to use
I think it's over $35,000.
union steel, using union employees.
If something is over, I believe the bid threshold is approximately 23,000. If it's anticipated to be more than that, you need scope bids.
Yes.
If it's over 100,000, that gets you into where you're gonna be paying prevailing wage.
Right. That's
That's the
prevailing
term.
wage, yes. Anyhow, so before we take bids, so we know how to
Get
do
estimates.
it, we need to get an estimate. I recommend that I have the guy that fixed our roof, unless somebody is disappointed with the work he did, he's already offered to do an estimate. So then we know what the ballpark is. And then take bids accordingly.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
Are we okay with that? You want me to reach out to
We
him?
gotta make
Okay.
decisions based on information.
Okay.
We don't have it.
So we're talking, right now, if I understand correctly, we're talking about work on getting the roof repaired, which I think is a key. I mean, I think we have to do that. It's gonna only add value to the property. And then we're also, are we gonna discuss partial payoff or no? Or then you've already agreed to talking about rental?
I would look at rentals first,
Okay. I'm
and
fine
then,
with
and
that.
I don't know, how do we do that?
So I guess my question to you would be, there's an 18-month window on the loan,
Right, and we have
which
to
you're
be
now
fine.
halfway through.
Right.
At the end of that, that's when the loan closes. So whatever you owe is what you're actually financing. The reason it was left open was to be able to finance improvements
Right.
and work to be done. if you're not going to do that work, or maybe you're only gonna do a bit to one of the, maybe you use it for the roof, maybe you use it for the other apartment building
Okay,
in between.
right.
Maybe you do that, because you do have that, that's an open source of funds right there. And then once you get to the point where you're ready to close, then make a large, principal payment.
Principal payment,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
If you make a principal payment now, it will lower your interest payment for sure. It will also give you more to potentially borrow if it's needed later. So I could go 50-50 on it.
Right.
Can we look at the differential on the budget accounts and what we're paying in interest
Sure.
for the loan?
Sure.
See if there's a variance.
Is that something you can do, Bonnie, to see what they?
Yeah, to get the.
So you know 3.9, you're saying?
I don't have access, but that's but I'm into that,
We'll
so.
call it tomorrow. But yeah, we'll do it.
So we're sticking to, well, we're gonna look into if there's a benefit to paying it. If we, basically, I guess if we're making more than 3.9 in the Pliget account, there's no sense paying it off.
Correct. Well, we're over, I'm not gonna personally guarantee it, but we're over 3.9 on Pliget.
And at that point, it would not be wise to pay
I think
off
it
the
was
loan
like
at this point.
4.3, 4.5.
Okay. As long as that's correct, the 3.9 finance. Because I know what we were looking at was 12%, and that was kind of scary.
It changes with the rates though, too.
It does, but it's not 12, it's not 12.
Okay,
It's not 12%.
So, well, whatever Bonnie and I was looking at is definitely 12%, but that was,
But I think we were looking at the agreement versus,
okay.
honestly, I need to go back and
So
try
say
to find.
agreement, I think would be, whatever, yeah, if you could find that
I
out,
think
because that would call it. I'd say if we're paying 12%, we should pay the loan off.
No, that was a cap, in case something crazy
Yeah,
happened
like
with the
that.
underlying Fed rates, and it's based on.
That was interest rates in 1990.
Okay, well, I'm just saying what it said, it did not say there was a cap. It just said we borrowed this amount at this interest rate, but anyway, okay, so how do we go about leasing, what is the problem?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Bonnie, again, I hate to flip this to you. Any ideas on, do we advertise for space? Do we word of mouth?
I would imagine that the most appropriate way to do it would be to first prepare the space.
Yeah,
If you wanted to, if you do wanna subdivide, let's do that, so that it's not, I don't know that needs to be done before a lease can be put in place, but you'd wanna notify someone. So the wells were tested, so
Yeah.
we know that's fine. I
Yeah.
assume the sewer.
Septic.
the sewer, the septic was fine, the water and the soil were all fine.
So I would say you'd probably want to get, I guess you would have to get a fair market value of what the lease would be. Certainly can't charge a lot more, but.
Mr. Chairman, can I address this?
Sure.
Okay, I do own a bunch of rental properties, and I'd give you some advice on this. I would think you probably want to start with, like Bonnie said, fair market, but there's a service out there, it's no charge, called apartments.com. They allow you to list your properties, you can list the rent, they will do online credit checks for you. Prospective tenants pay $36. Once they're cleared, you get their report, you can show the property, you can also take that link and advertise it on Facebook Marketplace. It's a very good service, and they will also automatically generate leases for you if you want for your state. So it would be, and they also collect your rent at no charge and automatically subject a $50 late charge fee. So it automatically the rents automatically get taken from the tenant's account and deposited into it would be the township's checking account. So it's really a hands-off operation. It's very nice, and then of course you get a yearly report back. So just something to consider. It makes the process very, very easy. They advertise for you on Zillow and a bunch of other places. Makes it pretty straightforward.
I can also reach out. I know there are several municipalities, Adams Township is the first to come to mind, that do own properties and rent them out a lot. So that would be something where I could just simply ask.
Yeah, what's your process, right?
Yep.
But I think you would wanna just ensure that the township is legally covered in all areas.
Yes.
Right.
The lease agreement is pretty ironclad, so.
Okay. All right, anything else on this subject, gentlemen?
Yeah, kind of on this subject, I'll just add, since we're gonna end at a reasonable time unless.
No, it's public comments open.
Oh, okay, public comments. So, yeah, well, one thing I noticed is the community center is being rented quite a bit lately. One of the downsides of this community center in the summertime is there's no air conditioning. So I was wondering if part of this parks, I guess it really doesn't come with Perry Highway, but, what are the chances of us getting a couple split AC units in here? Nice and quiet, not that noisy, and plus it makes it nicer for us on our meetings.
It gets hot here in the
Yeah.
meetings. We used to
Yeah, but
put a
you can't
window.
talk.
No.
Can't
I understand.
So the split ACs, I mean.
I think we should look at what the price is and
Okay.
explore that out.
Would you like me to get an estimate on that as well?
Sure. If you want to take that on. I would get 2 or 3.
Well, I'll get one, you can get the others,
I'll
if
get
you
a couple.
like. But, yeah, I just deal with one guy and he comes and does it and he's very reasonable and more important, he's dependable. And if it breaks down, he's there, so I kind of, sometimes get what you pay for kind of thing. But just a thought process, I think it would be
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah, we put a little window one
Yeah.
in it right here, and it's so loud. We probably spend more money than.
And not just for the meetings, but when the people rent this.
No, I
on
understand.
weekends, I think this place is becoming a nice little place to rent for the township, so.
Is there something, because the acoustics are so poor in here?
That's
is
why
there
I'm
something
recommending a
that's quiet?
split. That's why I'm recommending a split.
Yeah.
They're very, very quiet.
Sounds good to me.
And I'm guessing it would take 2 splits to do it, like one on one side, one on the other. Unless somebody here does HVAC that can speak to that. Okay.
All right, we'll open up the public comment. Steve?
Gotta get started, right? First thing is, I was going through the second class, township. I know Bonnie's blind, okay? It says that the treasurer, is she blind?
The answer to that is yes.
Okay,
We know that.
okay, because I don't want to do that. As far as, paying off the loan, you think about it, we're gonna pay roughly $50,000 a year at that rate. Over 4 years, that's almost $250,000. I mean, so my opinion would be pay some of it off whenever it seems feasible and it seems like whatever. This way we don't have that $1 million hanging over our heads in a year and a half or 2 years. Okay. The last thing is, I heard that the septic system over there was combined with the whole building. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know the answer to that. I know it passed the phase 2. I don't know how many septic systems were in there. I'll have to look at the report. The report was like 75 pages long. I'll have to look.
Okay.
I don't know.
And where it's at, because, you know, it's on the property, you can't sell that property if it's on township property.
What was it
The septic system.
about the house?
Is there one septic system for all that whole area? All the
So
buildings?
that, I know Bonnie mentioned subdividing at some point, and that's something worth looking into. We'll
Well,
look
I'm not
into
talking
it.
about, well, if we subdivide it, but I'm talking about right now, if we rent it out, is it, you know,
I understand.
I don't know.
one system or is there 2?
I'll have to look at it. I don't remember.
You don't even know what a beach bed is, if there's a beach bed.
We,
It's
that
in the
information,
report. It's in the report.
yeah, it was out there, but I don't recall. It's, the information's there, so.
Anything else, Steve?
That's it.
Any other public comment? Bonnie? Or Connie, I'm sorry. Bonnie, Connie.
In regards to Perry Highway and the road department, I think that whole thing should be just moved up there.
So do they.
Everything's even piled up back here because that's gonna be less time on these roads right here. I counted probably 35 trips a day. At times or more, between our road crew and, you know, the climbers and, you get shields in here at different times and whoever else. There's a lot less wear and tear and less property damage than neighboring properties from the truck drivers that don't know how to drive, unfortunately. I know they mentioned that the, cleanup day is coming up here in a couple weeks. But we haven't seen any coupons or anything. Do you know what's happening there?
That was a question I was, Bonnie?
So.
But I think, I'm sorry, but I think it's actually June.
Yeah, well, it's starting a couple weeks away.
Yeah, it's supposed
I
to be
understand,
the first-
I get it.
So it's supposed to be the first week of June, that's the time period the landfill has agreed to. We were just having a discussion today. The newsletter is just about finished, so that it can be published and mailed out. But I was also asking, is there an alternate date for the landfill just in case? So we wanna make sure that one way or another, I know that's the, you know.
Oh, it's a hot
everyone's
button.
Big deal.
favorite part of the newsletter, so I understand, and we don't wanna lose out on that. So if for some reason it doesn't work out, that we don't get the newsletter out with that coupon, I think we would have to address it in some other fashion. Do we bring in roll-off dumpsters somewhere so that residents have this?
I'm gonna say roll-off dumpsters, you're gonna need a lot of
Yeah.
roll-off dumpsters.
I know, that's fair, I
No,
don't
you
know
would fill that
perception.
Probably fill the basement.
That is a hot button. That's the only reason people,
Yeah,
I
trust me.
shouldn't say the only
If they're
reason.
running up there, they're further down at times, they don't.
I'm gonna tell you, I personally will fill a dumpster.
Yeah.
So think of the other people like me or worse.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
I have
residents.
trouble imagining
Yes,
filling one.
We have a bunch of
Yes.
hoarders.
yeah, trust me.
That's fair enough.
And that's why people appreciate it so much, because, you know, I separate my steel and take it and scrap it, but everything else goes to the landfill. And I agree with Bonnie, I didn't realize it was the first week of June, that's gonna be, newsletter's not out already. Say it takes a week to get to people's mailbox.
It's right there.
No, I understand, but I'm saying if it's not in people's mailbox today, when's it gonna be there?
I understand.
This is the typical time frame. We usually get it the week before the collection starts, so.
I see a couple of folks with trailers already loaded and then.
Oh, yeah.
Yep,
It's
yep.
a- it's a-
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
How much stuff can I fit in this trailer and my truck?
Isn't it more than 1 day? It's like.
It's usually like
It's the first week, 7th.
yeah, it's usually, it's almost a week long.
One other thing, this was actually brought to my attention over the weekend. There's a new type of data centers that are coming out.
I'm sorry, say it again.
A new type of data centers that are coming out. They're called nodes. It's about the size of a heat pump. And the manufacturers they're teamed up with NVIDIA, who is teamed up with a large nationwide home builder called Pulte, I think it's
Yeah,
called.
Pulte.
Yeah, and they're gonna be putting these in the backyards of people's homes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, just like a heat pump. So now you have to think about all that too. Me, as a neighbor, I wouldn't want one in my neighbor's house because of the health effects and the noise and everything. And what they're doing is they're persuading people with this gimmick that it's gonna save you money on electricity and stuff. And supposedly, it's only gonna cost you $150 a month for your electricity and your internet.
Interesting.
It's a whole gimmick, so I don't know how true that is.
Tom?
Yeah, I was recently talking to a general contractor in the area, and he was talking about the electrical grid out here, and that the electrical grid for this area, according to what he said, somebody Penn Power told him, was pretty much maxed out. And they're concerned, Penn Power is concerned about new developments coming in out here, because additional homes and EVs and all the stuff that's gonna be attached, it's gonna cost the Penn Power said it's gonna take them 10 years to upgrade the service out here to meet these demands. So data centers and large developments, concentrated developments, are gonna really put a stress on our electrical grid in the township. And that's one of the things we need to look at, that we haven't considered with utility companies.
Thank you.
Just a thought.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Sir?
I don't know if this is a right meeting or not. We saw the notice today about we're tar and chipping. And, great notice. I live on Lily Oak Creek Road, and I'd like to thank
There's so many. There's so many.
They fixed the outlet, just like fixed the road, it's already falling apart. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, inside pipe trucks just destroy that road. The rest of the road is crumbling. Is that on the schedule to be tarred and chipped this year?
I can't answer that.
Which road?
So that's Little Yellow Creek, and I believe the answer is no on that.
I don't think it is.
It's in bad shape.
It's
They-
Yeah, no, I remember our conversation.
It's down to the dirt in some places.
Okay. I don't think, no, I know they've been working on a handful of other roads, Mike, do you remember?
Yeah, so here, I was gonna answer that question. So Swain Hill
Swain Hill.
and Church Road and Schmidt. But to answer your question, I did speak to our roadmaster about this about 3 weeks ago. Our last meeting, we had somebody come and speak, just like you. Thank you for coming and participating, appreciate that. But I did talk to Ed, and it looks like they're trying to, I guess, when Mike Marburger owned Inside Pipe, he would work with the township to fix, like the intersection of Lancaster and Little Yellow Creek. Ed's been trying to reach out to the new owner. I guess he's not having a lot of luck. We'd like to fix it. I'm sure you're talking about right where they.
I know exactly where it's at.
Yeah, so.
I know.
I mean, it's that part.
It's
Has anybody on that side of the table driven down Yellow?
Yeah, I drove the whole way down because it was Mrs. Bronco. It is, but but I'll tell you what, not to belittle that, there's some really, drive on Schmidt Road or some other roads.
There's some
They're
worse.
just so bad. I drove the entire length of Little Yellow Creek. But the entrance, we're trying, to answer your question, we're gonna try it. I didn't realize they went down and just I imagine they just cold patched it then. Is that what they did or no?
Yeah, they just.
Because that's just gonna come right up. But
Yeah.
I think the idea is we're gonna cut that out and patch it.
But I mean, the rest of the road is
Yes,
farmland.
yeah.
I mean,
No, you're right.
down by Tweed's place,
Yes.
it's really bad.
There's some spots that are definitely very bad.
Yeah, I don't think they've turned to that road in years.
So.
Understood. We
Does
have
that
a
answer the question?
short-term, midterm, long-term plan we're working on. Look, the roads are our biggest concern. Be honest with you.
The other day, Ed actually took Rich and I to see some of the work they've done recently.
Okay.
And they were roads like, was it Church? and-
Church.
That the first time he drove me down these roads, I was barely hanging on.
Yeah.
And now they, they took them and they put millings down and they rolled them several times, and so they are significantly better. Will it hold up for 20 years?
No.
Maybe not, but will it hold up for 10?
I'd
Probably.
be happy if it would hold up till the next time they tar and chip.
Right.
Well, so it's just a matter of whether or not they could fit something into their schedule at this point.
And I mean, there's sections of the road now need dug up and
Okay.
split on.
Understood.
Well, like I said, it's down to the dirt.
Yeah, the mud's coming up now.
We're just in like triage mode at this point in time. We're in triage mode at this point in time, so we're not trying to. Yeah, I
Well,
think.
we can go back and at least fill in the rest of the potholes that come up again.
Well, the big thing we're trying to do is get that intersection. That's bad. That's something that needs addressed, and then, yes, I'm sure, we did cover it at one of the board of supervisor workshops where we actually had a spreadsheet, and we rated the roads from A to E, and then we just sorted the E's, the really bad ones.
I found that down by Tweed's, which is the end of the road.
Yeah.
Where it rains real hard, the creek overflows.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I told them about it. I don't know if there's a beaver dam back there or what. Hopefully not. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I have just, because you mentioned the road, there's a lot of real heavy logging trucks that are going up and down Scott Ridge Road and Pleasant Hill, for the last couple of months. The road hasn't started to deteriorate, but those trucks are really, really heavy. And I wonder if they're exceeding any load limits.
So I know, I'm sorry to interrupt. I know when I was sitting in Bonnie's chair in the month of February, there were 2 or 3 logging companies that came in that were gonna do some work and they bonded the roads. I do know that. I can't answer if
It's at the upper end of Scott Ridge, and then you turn on Pleasant Hill, and go off to 19. So I don't know.
They're coming out of Tranquility Lane, right?
They're all,
Yeah.
out of Canterbury Lane, yeah.
So how does
I'm
that,
pretty sure they were bonded.
yeah, how does that work, just for me as a new
Well, we
supervisor
can-
bonding? Sorry.
Bonnie, you wanna answer that?
I mean, to be fair, I didn't have a lot of experience with this, but for all intents and purposes, we bond the road so that if there are damages, the damages are paid for.
It's like an
So who
insurance, it's
goes-
like an insurance
I
policy.
understand the concept of bonding. What I'm saying is who goes and checks
Ed,
to see the road?
The
He does, so
Yeah.
that's before the bond is returned. Does
both.
he go out and photograph before a bonding? Because I would think you'd want to do that.
So I can answer this. Remember, what was it on West Lancaster where somebody damaged the road?
Yes. I remember
When
that.
you say photographs, because I got involved with Ed in February because we went after, well, actually the road was repaved through our insurance company. In February, when we didn't have a township manager, I was involved. The law firm, we got a call from a law firm that was representing our insurance company. And they asked a question about pictures. And our police department in Ed Spurk, our roadmaster, had over 100 pictures of the damage that was done.
Yeah, and I know that was an exception. Well, I know that was an exception, so I'm asking for the bonding process, and I agree.
I
That
think they
did say
did.
this, but I don't, I think I was talking to Ed about it, and he was asking me to help him with his photographs, because he was trying to take pictures of the roads. And I'm wondering, does he have a good enough camera to be able to go out, and when somebody comes in and says, I'm bonding this road, should he not drive up and down that road and photograph it, or videotape it? Because I don't think he does it, I don't think that's part of our bonding process. According, if I understood Ed correctly, that is not the case. He doesn't have the equipment to properly do that.
So I guess the question would be is, given any cell phone in today's day,
I was gonna
is
say.
that a good enough camera? It doesn't.
He seemed to indicate it was not. So, I'm just, maybe he doesn't have a good cell phone. I know certainly mine would take excellent pictures.
I mean, some of these cell phones, they take better pictures.
Yeah, I agree, better than nice cameras, but maybe I misunderstood Ed, and I've made many mistakes in my life, so, but I'm pretty sure he indicated that he does not film the entire length of every road that's bonded. So I didn't know what the process was at that time, but now we're bringing it up and I'm thinking about it. Maybe we should make that part of the process, if it's not already, to have Ed or a member of the road crew or one of us go out and videotape the road, file that, put that on file on our internal storage server whenever we get it, and then we'll have it. That way, then after it's done, we go back over. Because how else would you be able to collect bond money?
Pictures worth 1,000 words.
Just asking.
Yeah, that's totally fair idea.
Okay.
Yeah, document.
Any other public comment? So there is no executive session. There was one prior, there's not one after. We are going to have one prior to next Monday's meeting to talk about personnel and legal issue. So I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.